This is John Dingwall. I'm with Jon Fratelli of the Fratellis, and John's going to be involved in the Nordoff Music Therapy Awards, which is taking place in a little while. John, what made you decide to get involved in that event?
Well, they were giving us an award for the start, which is always nice. We went down to the one in London back in July, I think it was. And do you know, I never really knew much about it. What I remember about it was that a long time ago at Nebworth they did that. Do you remember they did that gig at Nebworth that Pink Floyd and Robert Plant and Jimmy Page and stuff played? So that, you know, from a long time ago, that was the only reference I had to it. But that night down in London, they had sort of speakers coming up and sort of talking about what the charity does. You know, and I just thought, what a really great way of helping people. You know, especially the fact that it's not just for kids, it's for adults as well. You know, music therapy seems like a really obvious one to me. You know, just doing what I do, and you know, it seems to me like the most a really sort of rewarding and obvious type of therapy.
It is a music charity, and there's a lot of big names who support it. Pretty much just about everybody in the music industry. Who was at the event in London that you saw? Because they're always auctioning off amazing prizes, aren't they?
Yeah, I tried to bid for everything, which you can guess what sort of state I must have been in. I almost bought Dolly Parton's guitar at one point. And
who bid you?
Paul McGuinness, thankfully, at the very, very last knock-ins. I think Lily Allen, God bless her, had decided that she was going to... Because I was putting my hand... It seemed like all these money men in the room weren't doing enough. So every time something came up for auction, I was like, just up in it.
Uh-huh.
But I upped Dolly Parton's guitar to the point where it was me and Lily Allen. I think she kept upping me, and then it stopped on me, and I was like, oh shit.
How much were you at that point?
I've got not enough that I want to pay Dolly Parton's guitar, at least. And then at the very, very going, I think Paul McGuinness, I went and noticed him because, you know, he mentioned during the thing, he was at the table next to me. He might have just spotted my anguish and said, oh, I'll help him out. And I also got in a bidding war with Jeremy Clarkson for a signed Pink Floyd Soundwave, which was great because I got him up to a really great amount. Just kept pushing him because I thought he would do that. He's rich and he likes Pink Floyd. Okay, I'm going for it. So I've no idea who was there actually. Meatloaf was there. I like Meatloaf. I'll get a hard time for that. And I know Gallagher was there. You know, looking as good as usual. And we were there in spirit.
So which award are you guys up for at the awards?
No idea.
You don't know?
Idea. We're just happy to go. You know, we're just happy to be a part of it. You know, and it being the sort of Scotland leg of the awards. I think the last time that we were invited, we were abroad and we couldn't come. You know, we just happened to be here this time. And we're happy that we're here and we can go to it.
You've also been involved in other charities. I think, were you involved in the Meningitis Trust, helping them out?
Yeah. Well, we're having a raffle, which I think's on December the 8th, if I'm right. And it came from this boy called Callum MacLeod, who died of meningitis when he was 12, and this was just last year. And it was actually on the very first day we got together to record the second album. His mum came to see us because they were obviously planning towards holding this raffle and sort of trying to make as much money as possible for it. I mean, then we gave her a signed guitar and other things. But it wasn't. No, that's just an aside. You know, it was just we couldn't believe that was hitting so close to home. That this boy who he was playing a band with his mates and stuff. You know, they played our songs. Played Chelsea Dagger at his funeral. I'd never sort of that sort of thing had never been as close to home as that before. So we dedicated the record to him, and then we also said that, you know, we would sort of just have an ongoing thing where anything that we can ever do. And so, there's only so much we can do, but that we would do that. So they're now auctioning this guitars, among other things, in December, and I really hope that it raises, you know, what they hope it will raise.
Mm-hmm. And you're already working on songs for yet another album, not long after the second album.
Yeah.
Are the band fairly prolific in that department then?
Yeah, that does take a bit of cajoling sometimes, you know. But I'm obsessive about moving on, you know. And I've been like that all my life, even with people that you meet. You meet that bunch of people, and then you move on, and then you know it's just always been that way. But we are not satisfied at all so far with the music that we've made. Some of it's been great, but until all of it's great, then you keep going, you know, until you make that sort of magical album. And I still believe in magic records. I still believe that there's something about a record that's magical, and that if you treat it that way, and you always remember that that's the case, and that you're in with a shout of making one. Everybody who plays an instrument's in with a shout of making one, even if you make it by mistake, you know. So like that definitely sort of makes me get up in the morning and want to work, you know. There'll definitely be another album from us next. Well, there'll be 2 albums from us next year. One being that surprise one I was telling you about.
The duets album.
The duets album. I could be. Trust me, man. If it works, it'll be really great.
Is it a series of collaborations?
No, it's just one whole collaboration. That's the thing, you know. I always think those duets albums are a bit. Oh, look how many friends I've got. You know, that's not what it's about. You know, it's just something that's come up for us that would be something that we could never have imagined 3 or 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. So you know, it won't be for lack of effort on our part making it happen.
Mm-hmm. So 2 albums in 2009
for
the Fratellis?
If not more.
But the Scottish Style Awards, I think you said that the Fratellis had come 4th, 3rd and 2nd. Do you remember any of that, or is it all a blur?
I don't remember that, but I'm assuming this is when I gave that award out.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't meant to give an award out. I wasn't even meant to be there. You know, I did wake up next morning with that huge sense of guilt. Never that guilty, but you know, I was like, John, you know. maybe sometime in front of the cameras and microphones you could show off your other side. You're slightly intelligent. Got a couple of points to say, you know. No, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure nobody that was there remembers. When I give away free magnums with champagne like that, and it's probably a good thing.
Now, how many times have you mentioned, obviously, the fact that, you know, you move on from the songs that you've recorded and sung. You must have sung Chelsea Dagger a million times by now. Yeah. What's that like, getting up to do it time and time again? Does it ever get a little bit tiring, or is it always a triumphant kind of experience?
In this country, it's pretty much always triumphant, you know. But it changes, you know, because when you in Japan and Australia this year, we had a really great tour in Japan and Australia. And it wasn't necessarily Chelsea Dagger that were the ones that they were going for. You know, Flathead was a sort of big iTunes tune over there. Mm. That's nice. It's nice that it's not the same song throughout the whole world, or you really are scunnered, you know. But you know, I heard a lot of Daltrey saying that, you know, the Who got that with My Generation for a few years. Everybody's got that song. It's whether you can sort of transcend it, I suppose. And that's that constant. We're too stubborn not to transcend it. That's what, you know. That gets back to constantly being obsessive with making something else, because you're not going to be stuck to that. But it's great when you're having. People might say when you're having a bad gig, you know, that song can rescue it. I look at it as if you're having a really great gig and you haven't played that song yet. You're like, well, you know, how much more crazy can it go? And then you see. I haven't seen many other songs. And I've seen a lot of bands having that same reaction, and I'll always be grateful for it, because it pays the bills.